Hey, I'm working on the same painting I was working on the other day. Swear to God, this is never going to be done. This is actually as from a reference photo I've been completely obsessed with. And now I just want it over with. It's taking too long. But I wanted to talk about a couple things I'm doing, because I'm getting towards the end of the painting, and it's starting to pull together, like all these goofy lines that I made that don't necessarily make any sense are going to start working pretty quickly. As is this section, as is that section. It will all tie together. What I'm doing right now, what I've been doing the past couple of days, is painting on lines, painting between lines, and also paying attention that when I do put a color down in one section, this is what I do throughout the painting anyway, but when I paint on one section, I make sure that the same color is added to another section. This is what's going to keep it balanced. It's continuity in color, texture, and a bunch of other stuff that I can't remember. I'm taking that. There. And it may not always make sense when you see it. And it looks like I'm not paying attention, because I'm not. Other than I am, and I'm not at the same time. But I'm getting to the end of it. And it will all pull together, as I keep saying. Now, one thing that I really wanted to talk about today, because this is a theme that comes up with me an awful lot on my blog, and in my head, and in the middle of the night when I can't sleep, is a fear of failure. And I mean it in many ways, like, oh, I like that. Failing the painting, failing what I could be, not trying hard enough during the day. I guess that's a big thing, is fear of failure and not knowing I didn't try, or thinking I didn't try hard enough. A fear of failure in painting for me ruled my life when I lived on Cape Cod a few years ago. Because on Cape Cod I found after a while I couldn't be seen anywhere unless I did lighthouse, sand dune, water scene. Real Cape Cod trite, just seaside trite you can get fucking anywhere on the East Coast or West Coast. Not in Sedona, but you get it in Maine or Florida, it doesn't matter. It's seaside trite, and that's what the galleries wanted on the Cape. So I stopped painting what I liked to paint, which was figure work like this, but more traditional figure work. And I started just, please just show me, I'll paint a lighthouse. It didn't work out really well, it feels disingenuous. It doesn't feel like my work. So when I left the Cape and moved to New Bedford, one of the first things I did was I bought a very large roll of canvas and a whole bunch of paint. And I went from painting like 16 to 24 inch high paintings to a 6 foot by 9 foot long and wide canvas. And it was a doll's head floating in a marsh, which just sounds nuts, but I was taking a lot of Vicodin, and it still makes sense to me now. Not even a good enough excuse, it makes sense to me. It interests me. It came from the heart. And from there, I started, once people saw that and it started to be accepted, then I started entering shows. And instead of doing a few shows a year, maybe 6 to 8 shows a year like I was on the Cape, when I could get in places, I started doing 2 shows a month. From Boston to Newport, I did 2 shows a month. And then I put my big girl panties on and decided I was going to follow my big goal, which was to get into a gallery in New York. And I did it. I had 2 solo shows in Brooklyn, and now I'm at Eden Gallery on Madison Avenue, Madison and 50th, and I have work in Israel. And I don't want to project that I have no fear of failure, because every day I wake up just up to here in anxiety and like, I've done the wrong thing and blah, blah, you know, what if I haven't painted what people want? But I learned to just do it anyway. I learned to just buy the canvas, to just do the work, to, you know, get it. I've learned to get it photographed, get a brochure made. I've learned to do all the steps, and I'll go over them in another video, all the steps I went through to get to where I am right now. Ooh, a big place. But I had to learn to try, really try hard, to walk in the door and represent myself and believe in myself, which is the hardest thing for me. And the hardest thing for most people is to find your value. Anyway, kind of babbly. But what I want to say is, don't let a fear of failure keep you from trying, whether it's trying to paint or trying to get in a gallery or posting your stuff on Facebook, showing it at all. There will always be critics. There will always be people who are willing to humiliate people who try or do things in a fashionable way, or that see things in their own light, in their own way, and follow their own path, have their own designs, their own beliefs, their own ideas. So don't let that keep you from trying. Oh, I know what I wanted to show. Because I was thinking about Julia Childs, and Julia Childs has this great quote. The only real stumbling block is a fear of failure. In cooking, but we'll say painting here. In painting, you have to have a what the hell attitude. So there we are. Put on your what the hell attitude. Just do it. And don't be afraid. Because the only thing that matters is that you're doing what you love. Ciao.